Daddy eats lots. Daddy eats lots. Daddy eats lots. Munch, munch, munch.
Hello and welcome to Daddy Eats Last, where we discuss the challenges of being a man in modern society and what the hell that even means. I'm Kane, and joining me this evening are Ryan and Matthew. Gents, how are we?
Mate?
You got a new
Doing
car,
well.
Matthew, since we saw you last. I haven't seen you, haven't heard from you for a couple of weeks, and in that intervening time, you bought a Canyonero.
The closest thing I can get to a Canyonero. Yeah, we went and bought a Toyota Prado. So I was getting it squashy in the back seat for young Mia. And we've got an upcoming trip at Easter time with the whole of the family. So, which is a fair chunk of driving. So we thought we'd get something a bit larger. We can take off road and do some beach trips going forward. And it's fantastic. It's really good.
How much research did you put into a car? I'm not a car person, so I don't even know what sort of car you got. I know it looked white, but how much research did you put into it?
A lot. We've anytime we buy something big, we research the hell out of it. So we've probably been thinking about this for the last 6 months. And it was pretty much always going to be a Toyota. My dad's a mechanic and swears by them. He's had a lot over the course of his life, and they've never let him down. So it was always going to be a Toyota, but just which one? So there was a Prado or a Kluger was another one, but we really wanted something that had that four-wheel drive factor.
Fair enough. And how old's your little fella now?
He is 2.5.
2.5. I mean, you've already got him as an apprentice to a tradie now. Because I saw a picture of you online when you get the car, and he was in the fluoros, like he just come from work site.
Dad likes to buy those kind of things. So about a year ago, he sent me up a Toyota badge for him, and a little T-shirt that said "Future Toyota Driver" or "Future Toyota Owner" on it as well. So. And then last time he came up at Christmas time, he brought a little fluoro work shirt so they could run around together and look like they're working. Yeah,
that is very cool. Very cool. What about you, Ryan? How are you in the UK?
Yeah, doing fine. Definitely don't have anything as exciting as a new car.
Well, you do.
I suppose so. It's expensive, if not more expensive than a new car.
You've been accepted to a prestigious university for some, higher education.
Yes, I have. I might end up leaving the UK as a complete wanker, depending on how it all goes. But I'm off to a Cambridge University in September.
Oh, well done, mate.
Thanks, mate. For get back into some study. Do my executive MBA there. So we'll see how it all goes.
Matthew, I think we might have to pitch in and get Ryan one of those old book straps they used to have in the 1800s where they'd carry their books over their shoulders.
Yes, actually, maybe. And a tweed jacket.
A tweed jacket and a pipe.
And
a tweed jacket and a pipe.
Watch out for wallet inspectors, Ryan.
Yes, I will be watching out for some wallet inspectors. But yes, that's September. So hopefully it'll actually be in person and face to face. But other than that, we are just ticking along in a lockdown life over here in the UK.
We had Jekyll and Hyde this weekend. It's Sunday night. We had Mr. Hyde yesterday with a little fella. It was Mr. Hyde all day. It was just woke up in a mood, and that mood persisted from 7 till 7. Where today he was Jekyll, just a perfect little angel. We went to the beach and went out for dinner, and it was polar opposites. He could have looked at the kid on each day and just gone, "How is that the same kid?" So unfortunately, my weekend's dictated by that, which was good today.
By his mood.
Absolutely, and it's contagious, his mood, because it just affects everyone else a lot of the time. So it was good that he was in a good mood today. But gents, this is a topic which I know somebody, one of our listeners, has been waiting for a few weeks. So we'll finally do the episode that we wanted to do on supplements and skincare. Basically, your regime. Probably looking at you, Ryan, and maybe a little bit more like you, Matthew, because I never used to have one. I'm a little bit more. I do have a skincare routine now, but that has literally been in the last sort of 6 weeks to 2 months. Prior to that, I was just to splash the water on the face, and that was it. So I might get to meet
6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks. I've been onto it. So
what caused that?
Age? I don't know. I think it was probably more that I was through summer and putting sunscreen on my face. I've seemed to be, I'd have really dry skin or really oily skin and blemishes. So I just thought, well, I'll try something. I'll try a face wash or a cleanser and a moisturizer and a little serum thing, because I'm also 41 now, so I'm getting wrinklier and wrinklier every day. But yeah, it was primarily driven on the back of being putting sunscreen on every day on my face and just playing havoc with my skin. So yeah. How about you guys? Do you have a skincare routine? Do you take any supplements?
After you, Matthew.
I was going to say, I'll be short, you'll be long.
I think I get this assumption that may not be true, guys.
We'll see soon enough.
I for most of my life, I never had any routine at all. Typically, as a teenager, obviously, I'd probably throw a bit of Clearasil or face wash on the face. That would be it. I'd probably just wash with soap. Growing up, like then post teenage years and 20s, I probably dabbled a little bit with a bit of, some face moisturizer or things like that. But again, it definitely wasn't something I'd do every day for a whole year or anything like that. And then probably into my 30s is when I probably started looking at it a bit more. And again, I'd go through phases where I'd buy the moisturizer and maybe some eye cream as well. I'd dab on at night time just to, like you said, Kane, just to sort of get rid of those wrinkles that you do notice as you're getting in your 30s and mid 30s as well. But again, it was never religious. So I'd go through phases. Maybe I'd do the routine for a month and then be, I'd have a couple of days where I'd forget to do it. And then just, that'd be it for another probably month until I remember, shit, I better get back into doing that. Moving up to Queensland though, the sunscreen's probably a big one. Like living in Victoria, I never used to put sunscreen on. Even going to the beach, I'd rarely put it on as well. I grew up, excuse me, when we had beach holidays, Dad would always throw the coconut oil on. So I thought that was the thing to do. This is before I got educated in the dangers of the sun. And even though growing up, you slip, slap, you were told about the sun, it sort of was a little bit cool to maybe have a tan back then. Now it's probably not as much. But definitely moving to Queensland, I realised that, there's nothing cool about having a tan at all. And every day I'd try and do some sunscreen. But saying that now, again, I've probably gotten out of that routine as well. But, we slap the kids every day. They need it when they go to school, daycare as well. And if I'm out in the yard, I'll definitely just lather the crap out of it on my face. Because I've started to notice that underneath the eyes from not wearing sunscreen for, best part of my life, I can tell there's a lot of sun damage there. And also on my forehead as well, it's a little bit patchy. So I'm a bit more conscious now of putting on some sunscreen, definitely if we're going to the beach or if I'm going outside the motor lawn or something like that.
We had a really good teaching moment in our house a couple of weeks ago. I actually had to get something cut out of my chest, like a mole which had turned up in the last sort of 3 months or had changed in the last 3 months. And I honestly think the photograph that the skin doctor took maybe was just at a slightly different angle, so it looked like it had changed, but I wasn't going to question the skin doctor. So I got that taken out. And then to show the little fella, I listened, because he was like, I don't need to put sunscreen on today. It's not sunny, but it was still, UV was still really high. I said, buddy, when I was a kid, we weren't told to put on sunscreen because it wasn't a thing. And, now Daddy had to get this thing cut out of his chest. Do you want to get something cut out of your chest like this? And it's a pretty gnarly scar at the moment because it's like a slit, maybe an inch wide. So he's like, oh, it's ever since that, it's been, I'll put my sunscreen on, like almost putting it on himself instead of, having to almost drag him out to put it on, if that makes sense. So they're not advocating getting something cut out to teach your kids, but it certainly helped in our instance.
And do you, I know this sidestep a little bit, but do you get your skin checked as well, Kane, in terms of like moles and things like that for melanomas?
I started getting it checked maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So probably when I was in my maybe I was probably mid 30s, to be honest, maybe 36 or 37. And then I've gone back, it was every year. And then I went back 6 months ago and they said, oh, listen, we're just going to take, because it's new technology, we're going to take photos of you and then we're going to check, in 3 months' time, there's specific things, moles which we've marked and tagged, and then we'll look at them. And I went back sort of 3 weeks ago, and they looked at them again. And one of them, he's like, I'm not sure. I'm almost certain there's not going to be something, but I don't want to take any risks whatsoever, so we'll cut it out. So I have to go back in another 3 months just to check, if there's been no change again. And then after that, I'll probably go back to 6 or 12 months. I think I paid for the first, I paid for the first set of photos. I haven't paid anything since. Didn't pay for the second set of photos. I think it's on Medicare. You know, the thing getting chopped out of my chest on Medicare. So for people out there, like if you're worried about anything, it took me like maybe 30 or 40 minutes. You know, it wasn't expensive. And it's just the peace of mind knowing that you've been checked out. I think especially living in Australia and the amount of sun we're exposed to is really important, especially people our age who, you know, when we were kids, sunscreen, like you say, it was kind of coconut oil, or we didn't understand how bad the sun was, just like we didn't understand how bad smoking was for you.
I don't even remember putting sunscreen on as a kid in Victoria, like especially in summer. Like now there's sunscreen at the schools, or, you know, it's like a bottle of juice on the kitchen bench. It's just there every day. So you slap it on. But back home, I don't remember mum lathering me up before I went off to school.
No, it certainly wasn't. It certainly wasn't the case for us. And that rash vest at the beach, like pretty much everyone's got one on now. And I forgot to take mine today when we went to the beach. So I had to put on my better halves, and I could, you know, look like a seal. I was that snug in a rug in that one. But you know, I felt bad that I forgot my rash vest, because I was like, oh, how am I going on the water now? So it's gone full circle, which I think, it's great that it has. Getting back to the skincare or supplements, Matthew. What about supplements? You take any supplements, vitamins?
Vitamins,
minerals?
I don't. The only time I've taken vitamins was when I went overseas for a couple of months. I took the multivitamin for that, and I don't take minerals as well. Are we throwing protein and things like that in this as well, or?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so I'm on the protein shakes post gym workouts with
you buff
before the Diet Coke.
Have you mixed it with Diet Coke before? Diet Coke and vanilla protein?
Diet Coke and protein.
I have mixed those two. Yeah, look, I do wait a good hour or two before I open up that bottle. But yeah, that's pretty much all the supplements I take. And I did bring my my Olay Regenerist Microsculpting night cream that I put on.
Olay.
I remember.
Olay.
Just for those, yeah. And so look, I've had one compliment once a couple of years back, saying that I looked a lot smoother around the eyes. So I don't know.
Did that come from your
Does
better
it work?
half?
I don't know if this stuff really works. I don't know, but you know, I get it was on special.
Who gave you the compliment, Matthew?
Oh, an old lady at work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes. It's working.
Don't get any compliments now from your boss, given you work with your wife?
No compliments at all, actually. Just constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism.
Mr. Ebert, skincare,
Love
supplements. What do we do? What do you do?
The whole lot. Well, I'm gonna pinch your the future. I'm gonna take a note of that skin one. With the kids and sunscreen. So, I've got 3 quite gnarly scars because of moles cut out. One of which was actually a very dangerous one. So have been getting moles looked at for you know, every 6 to 12 months for probably since I was 20. But got a family history and that. But in terms of routine, so we did a bit of sunscreen in when I lived in Perth, which was good. And then my mum owned a beautician salon, so I did end up learning a fair bit about it. But yeah, much like you guys, you kind of phase a few things in and out. I basically, if I remember, in the morning I put on a moisturizer, but it's got like a bit of SPF built into it, and then maybe at night time, and that's pretty much it. Apart from, you know, you have a shave, use a bit of aftershave. In terms of skin routine, there's really, which is where I don't know where I got this connotation of like I got this big routine and everything.
He's such a beautiful man. He's such a beautiful man. He's just lovely skin.
I'll take it. I'll certainly take it.
The Viking blood.
Maybe the Nordic blonde hair and everything. So I don't know. Maybe when I get a bit older, it'll sink into it a bit. But generally, it's just basic moisturizer, and I love the Maddie logic of if it's on special, that's the go. There's certainly no rhyme or reason into it. In terms of vitamins and stuff, though, so over here, I'd use vitamin D for 6 months of the year. because you don't really have the sun to worry about for 6 months of the year, I've found, moving to the UK. And then most days just take a basic multivitamin. But I'm definitely not in the post-workout protein shakes or anything like that, like Maddie. So maybe I need to up my game there. But generally it's pretty routine. Although I do wonder, and I do think, just maybe not skincare routine or anything, but appearance wise, guys today have a bit more pressure than what they did, maybe 20 years ago or 40 years ago or something like that. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, because one, like, there's a lot of just actually putting something on that has a bit of SPF and sun protection and all that is really quite good. But two, yeah, I think it's good to see that there's a little bit of care put into health, more well-being, what you're putting in your body, how your skin's looking, all that education piece that you guys were talking about, sunscreen. So I think it is something that is a lot more acutely aware for men today. But maybe if I ever get grays or something like that, what do they do? You cover them up, and that's the one. Yeah, I think if anything, I would probably
just for men.
Put more just put more effort into my hair than I would anything else.
Good head of hair can cover a lot of sins, as can a suit.
As can a good suit, yes. Good suit can cover a lot of sins.
Well, it sounds like I'm the person who probably has the biggest routine then. I'll go through that in a second. I guess for me, though, I don't pay for a gym membership at all. Like, I'll run and I've got, weights and stuff in the garage. So I like the science behind a lot of this stuff. Like, I like to read up on, the science of different things and what they do. And then, I'll try something. And if it doesn't work for me, it doesn't do anything, I'll just kick it to the curb. So I kind of cycle through bits and pieces and just stick with certain things which may work, and then other things which don't work, I just kind of boot. So I'm probably going to stick to this skincare routine in inverted commas, for the foreseeable future. I've noticed a massive difference has actually started it, and it's literally just the cleanser, a little serum at night, and then a moisturizer. I literally until maybe 6 weeks ago, my routine was splash water on my face, and that was it. No cleanser, no moisturizer, nothing. I obviously do sunscreen.
If you use a little something at night, I find that it does actually kind of, you sleep better, because you're sort of washing, I don't know whether there's a psychological thing to it or whatnot, but you're sort of like washing the day off, or you're kind of just, giving yourself a bit of revitalization or whatever to go to sleep with. I do find that actually.
Yeah, you feel clean.
Yeah,
it definitely feels cleaner.
That's the way to say it.
Yeah. And I've done a lot of research into sleep, like I guess the sleep science stuff, and how I sleep, because I've always thought sleep, or I guess the last 5 or 10 years, when you have a kid especially, kind of go, wow, sleep's super important, because you go through that sleep deprivation phase and just go, sleep is probably the most important thing you can do. But that's
probably the thing that would make the biggest impact. Like, I do find, like, if you have a really good night's sleep, you wake up the next day and you're like, looking good today.
Well, I go to bed at night. I go to bed between 9:30 and 10 o'clock every night. At 9:30, there's nothing which I'm going to be doing at 9:30 which I can't do at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. There's just nothing. I don't watch TV at that sort of time. So I go, well, may as well just go to bed, because otherwise I'll just noodle around looking at Aussie man commentary YouTube videos, which people should check out because they're quite funny. An Aussie man commentating over bad YouTube videos. They're quite expletive ridden and quite amusing. But supplement wise, this is probably what I cycle. Like, I'll pick up bits and pieces and I'll keep bits and pieces. So there's probably 3 things that I take at the moment. One's just fish oil and one's collagen, because I'm getting older, and fish oil is great for your joints and your heart, and collagen is good for your skin and your nails and your cartilage, and again, that sort of things which can help you move better as you get older. The other thing I take on a daily basis is called Coenzyme Q10, which is not expensive, but it's again good for health, heart stuff, and I've got heart issues in my family. It's also good for diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia and things like that. And I've definitely got that on my mum's side. So just trying to take sort of things over a longer term, which hopefully in sort of 20 or 30 years time may mean I'm less susceptible to things which are in my gene pool. And outside of that, I have protein in my porridge at breakfast. I just put a scoop of protein in my porridge, which is pretty much my daily breakfast. And I have a green powder in case I miss out on, some of the stuff which you get out of, eating I guess like a kilo of spinach like Popeye would usually have. I just have it in green powder form, which I can just put into like some water. So they've all got their reasons.
So I do a little bit of that as well, that I actually think, and whether it factors into a skincare routine or not, but thinking about it probably does, in that, so like, as you guys know, I do the intermittent fasting thing, which I find helps quite a bit. But one of the things is between that eating window that we generally will have, I would say almost daily, if not at least 5-6 times a week, is so we've got a NutriBullet that we do a green juice, and it kind of works really nicely as like a 3 p.m. sort of thing, where because you've eaten for lunch and then you're eating at dinner, you're not getting 3 meals a day. But yeah, it's like spinach, kale, banana, frozen strawberries, pineapple, which I found that we've just started putting that in the last year because it's got really good anti-inflammatory recovery traits that I found out. Cucumber, carrot, blend it all up, have a green juice, and that been doing for a few years, I actually find has a really good skin effect, but also haven't gotten sick for like 3 years straight. And like you said, Kane, it's part of that thing of going, well, I figure if I do this, and it's like all that atomic habits kind of thing of like, if I do this daily, surely this is going to compound and help me when I'm 80 years old, having like a bunch of spinach and kale and carrots and shit every day.
Yeah, no, that's exactly my rationale. Like if I try to do this, like it's my only habit I kind of stick to. Like I'll exercise every day, and I'll do that sort of, I say that, that routine of taking these particular things, each for their reason. And yeah, the green powder is much like your sort of reason. I'm too lazy to probably make a big smoothie. I can just tip something into water and give it a shake and I'm okay. But yeah, it's just for that exact reason where hopefully that, I'm doing the minimum to avoid, the green powder is really to avoid, picking up bugs now. The other things are trying to avoid, more serious things down the track, hopefully.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of just psychological calmness as well for any guys who are thinking about a skin routine or whatnot, of just at the end of the day putting a little something on and going to bed. That I definitely advocate for.
I don't have smoothies on a daily basis, but after hearing you boys talk about them, I think I'll be getting on the smoothie train. I'm like Kane, I'm probably a bit
Diet
lazy
Coke out, Coke out, smoothie in.
Well, it is Diet Coke, so it might be able to stay. But the smoothie definitely should come into the mix, I think. Yeah, that green powder one. There was something you used to drink, Kane, back in the day. It was a black drink. Or was that the used to mix it with water? Yeah, I'm positive it was black. Every morning you'd throw one down. It wasn't coffee.
It's probably dark. It was probably dark green. It's probably this dark green drink because it looks black.
Yeah, okay.
I've had so many people comment over the years of what the hell is that? Like, because I'll just have like a liter of water which has got the green stuff mixed in it. It's like a really dark green if you put enough in it. Yeah. So it would have been inevitably been that. So I've probably been doing parts of that for 10 years. Again, just covering off on things which I if I'm a bit lazy in what I eat or make during the day, that I've at least covered off on. I can say I've eaten the equivalent of a bag of spinach or something.
Yeah. It does help because you do turn around and get to the end of the day and go, even if you've had like a crappy food day, you'd be like, well, I didn't get my 5 and 2, but I definitely got 3 and 2 or something like that. And you're like, well, if that's what I'm getting on my bad days, then it's pretty good.
Yeah. So I don't eat a lot of fruit. I eat a lot of vegetables, but I avoid a lot of fruit. I have banana. I like fruit. I like most fruits, but I just kind of keep it to bananas, some berries, and vegetables. Yeah, because I don't generally eat a lot of fruit, which is hard because it's like little fella and the missus eat a lot of fruit, and they're like, "Oh, Dad, you want some fruit?" I'm like, "Oh no, I was going to have a carrot, mate." So yeah, that's hard when kids get involved as well, and kids notice what you do. So yeah, that's stuff which you kind of go, "Okay." He hasn't asked about the green drink. I'm sure he will at some point, like Matthew did 10 years ago. I'm sure he'll ask about it. Oh, what's that, Daddy? Can I have some? And you have to wait until you're probably 13, 15 before you can try stuff like that. Or you see kids doing all sorts of weird stuff, which I never did when I was a kid. Like you see kids walking down the street with lattes when they're 15. I've gone, I sure as hell did not do that until I was maybe 20, 22, 23. Matthew still doesn't.
That's definitely.
I still don't.
That's crazy.
One
I
day.
definitely got into the whole coffee thing in uni, but it'd be interesting actually to maybe give it a go, Maddie, for a couple of weeks. Get on the green juices, and you can let us know how it goes.
I plan to. I'll get on that one
If you
K10
look a
because,
few
like you
years
said,
younger.
I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy to go and buy all that stuff and cut it up in little portions, and I can see that costing me.
I'll post you up. I'll post you up a packet of green mix and see how you go.
Is that if I go to the shop and look for this or the pharmacy, is green?
I'll send you the link online. That's where I get like the protein that I put in my oats. I usually do an order when I run out, sort of every 3 months of a pack of powder and a pack of protein, and it's pea protein, so it's vegan. It's not based on whey, so that's what I eat. They're just, and it's bulk, and it's sort of, I say it's cheap because it's bulk. So you buy sort of a bigger pack. It's generic, so you're not paying for a brand, so you're not paying for a Swiss brand or anything like that. So I'll send you a link.
Right. Okay.
So
I'll do it.
You report back. How
I'm also a colossal tight ass. And as always, that's a good place to end, me being a colossal tight ass, because that wraps up this week for Dad Eats Last. Remember to subscribe to Dad Eats Last on iTunes if you haven't already. And while you're there, please leave a review. Also, tell your mates about the podcast, especially if they're guys, and especially if they like green drinks. Most of all, thanks for listening. And we'll be back next week with another episode, or well, serving of anything really, of Daddy Eats Last. How's that for a dad joke? Catch you next week.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.